In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Google Search Console for Shopify SEO. I'm going to show you how to set up Google Search Console, and then I'm going to show you the basics of what you can do with it. Now, if you want to see an in-depth video of how to specifically use Google Search Console, I've already made one. I'm going to put a link above to that, so go check that one out once you've set it up. I'm going to show you in detail what each of these things mean. And this video is just going to be a quick overview. Now, just quickly, if you want me to coach you on how to do Shopify SEO for only $49 a month, go to learndominatemarketing.com. And if you'd like us to do your Shopify SEO with guaranteed results, go to dominatemarketing.io, book a call with us there. Right, onto the video. So the first thing you want to do is go to search.google.com/search-console. I'm going to put that link in the description below. That's to the Google Search Console, and you'll be taken to this screen here. And what you want to do is hit start now, and it's going to take you into the setup. Now, I've already got Google Search Console set up, so I'm seeing this screen, but what you would be presented with is a screen similar to this. And now what you need to do is add the URL that you want Search Console to set up to connect to the website, and then we can actually see the data. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to do a fake one that's not going to be real, but I'm going to walk you through how you would set it up. So there are two ways you can go about it. This way you can do this if you have access to the hosting and you actually need to go and add a DNS record into your hosting. This is a slightly more complicated thing, which I'm not necessarily going to cover in this video. If you know how to do that, then you can do this. If you don't, then this is going to be the easier way here. What you can do here is you just type in the exact URL. So just a quick note on this one, you can just put the whole domain. So let's say I was going to do this URL, which is not a real one, but it's just for the purpose of this video. I could do just nefariousracingshop.com and hit continue. I can't do that here because I need to put the prefix. You see, it won't let me. So on this one, you just need to put https // and then if your shop is www. Then you would need to include that. So just be aware you need to include this beginning section in here. That's the only difference. And then the only difference between these two is that this is only going to track this specific prefix. However, if you've set up everything correctly for SEO anyway, you should only have that one actually operating as the site. All the others should redirect to this one. So in which case it doesn't really make much difference. So you can just do this. And what you would do is hit continue. And now it's going to ask you to verify this by either downloading this file and uploading it to the root folder in cPanel or in your hosting. You just go to the main folder of your website and you would upload this file. It's just a very simple HTML file. Or you can add an HTML tag into the code of your header. So what you would do here, if you want to do it this way, is you would copy this and you would go to Shopify and you would go to online store and go to themes. And once you're in themes, you want to hit this little triple dots next to customize and go to edit code. And then you would go to theme.liquid. And in here, you got the head section. Now you see where I've got my Google tag. You would put this thing here. I would paste it here and then hit save. And then what that would do is it would insert this code and then you would go back here and you would hit verify and then it would verify it. It would just simply load and then it would show verified. Now, what you can also do is if you've already got Google Analytics hooked up on this website and it's with the same email that you're logged in here, you can just hit verify and it'll verify immediately. Same thing with Google Tag Manager. So those are your options. Once you've completed one of those, you'll hit verify. It'll show this account is verified. Then you will have access to the actual Google Search Console and it's going to look like this. Now, when you just go in to begin with, you're not going to see any data. It's going to say it's going to take a couple of days for data to actually show. So you'll need to leave it for like a day, maybe 2 days, and then you're going to start seeing impressions and start seeing clicks. So what's going to happen is you're going to see a screen like this once you do start seeing data. And basically this first screen is just an overview showing you a bunch of different things that I guess Google deems important. How many clicks you're getting, you know, the overall trend for how the clicks are going over the last, I think this is for 60 days. Yeah, for the last 90 days, sorry, last 3 months. You can see whether it's in the search results or the discover. You can see how many pages are indexed, how many are not indexed. You can see the core web vitals and a couple other things. It's just an overview. Basically, what you're going to see is down here on the side, the main, all the different options. Now, the very first thing you should do once you've made this, even if the data is not showing, is go to sitemaps and submit your sitemap. Now, in Shopify, all you have to do is have the main URL. So let's say, for instance, mine is shop.nefariousracing.com/sitemap.xml. So on Shopify, it's always /sitemap.xml. If we hit this, you will see the sitemap of the website pop up, as you can see here. And now what you would do is you would take this, you would copy just that end bit, sitemap.xml, and you want to go into sitemaps and you want to paste it in here. You can see that. And you want to copy this bit, just the sitemap.xml, and you want to go into the sitemaps and just paste it in here. So now you can see it's / and then just sitemap.xml, you'd hit submit. And now it would do this, it would submit the sitemap. So what this is doing doing is you're submitting it to Google so that it knows which sitemap to crawl. So what Google's going to do is it'll go to crawl the sitemap so that it knows that it actually exists, and then it's going to see all of your different pages and then know to index those pages because now it knows that they actually exist. So that's why you want to do this. It's going to speed up the time at which your website shows up in Google search a lot more. So that's the very first thing. Now, once you got that, once data is showing, you can do a range of things with this. Now, like I said, if you want to know how to use this in depth, go watch my video on how to use Google Search Console. The link is in the description below. However, what you can do, I'll just cover a few basics, is you can go and inspect any specific URL from your page. So let's say, for instance, I'll just pick one. And what it's going to do is it will actually inspect the URL. It'll tell you, is it on Google? Is it indexed? Any issues it might be having, and so on, for every one that you throw in here. And you can also request Google to index this as well. If you've made changes or something like that, you can hit that to let Google know, come back and recrawl this so that it can see the updates. Now, the next thing you'll probably be spending a lot of time on is in the search results here under performance. And what that's going to show you is your total clicks, your impressions, average click-through rate, average position, things like that. Just basic data that you can see about how your website's actually performing on Google search. Now, what it's also going to do is it's going to show you all of the keywords that people have clicked on to get on your website. Now, just be aware that this is not 100% accurate, as in it will show you the keywords, but it won't show you all of the data specifically. So don't rely on this 100%, but it will give you a good idea of what's going on. So you can see here what keywords people have searched to find it, how many clicks, how many impressions. You can expand this to up to 500, so you can go all the way down and have a look at all of them. Obviously, you won't have this many at the beginning, but over time you will. You can also see which pages show up the most. So you can see here which are the most popular pages, how many clicks, how many impressions they get over the time period. So up here, you can actually change the time period to however many, how long you want. Same thing here, you can change different type of search type. Obviously, you'll be doing web mostly. Now, you can also see what countries they come from. You see mostly America, Canada, Australia, so on. Which devices, how it looked like. So whether it's product results, whether it's search, the different ways it's been displayed in Google and how people clicked it. You can also see the dates and so on. So this is where you'll probably spend a lot of your time. Now, the next place is going to be under indexing and pages. Here's a lot of good data as well. This will tell you how many pages Google's aware of and how many it's indexed. So you can see here, it knows that there's 612 pages that are not indexed and then 214 are. Now, this data again I wouldn't necessarily take all of this at face value, because I know, for instance, that I do not have 612 pages on the site. It's closer to 200, maybe 250. So what's happening here is that Google considers every single URL a different page, and so you need to be aware of what you're looking at here. So for instance, if we take a look at trying to find an example here, let's go into excluded by no index tag. You can see here that it's starting to, you see all these /feed URLs, it counts them as pages, and that's like 200 of the 600 unindexed ones. So I wouldn't worry about this stuff necessarily, but I'm just letting you know what data is in here that you can see. Now, again, I cover all these in more detail in that other video, but you can go through and you can see, 404s, which pages have redirects, and all these things that you can correct and improve on your website to further optimize it. Now, you can go down the list here and see other things, pages with videos, as you can see here, any removals, so things you want removed, like you can request for certain URLs to be removed from Google and things like that. Now, you can also go to experience, which gives you the overall page experience of your website, so things you can improve. So for instance, you can see here, mine, according to Google, need to be improved, so I need to go through and do that. I just haven't had time. You see core web vitals as well. This is pretty useful for SEO because Google does consider this. So you want to make sure that you go in here and improve any that are poor. So you can see mine, a lot of them are poor on this one, so I'd have to go through and improve it. So that just gives you that data as well. You can see here it says HTTPS. Obviously, there's no issues here, but it would pop up if you would have it. Now, this is basically where you are going to spend most of your time. It's mainly going to be under the search performance, search results, and it's going to be under pages. Now, one last thing you want to be aware of as well is if you go into security and manual actions, go into manual actions, it's going to tell you if you've actually been manually penalized in Google. So that's one way you can be sure if you have a penalty or not. And same thing with security issues. It'll tell you if you got some security issue, your site's been hacked and things like that. So these are the main things that you need to know about Google Search Console. This is where you're going to be spending most of your time. It gives you some really good data so that you know what's going on, what search queries people are looking for. You can also do more in-depth things with this as well. Like for instance, if you want to see a specific query like this one, you can create a filter by query or by page, and you can apply it, and then you can see like what pages show up for that keyword, so you know if cannibalization is going on and things like that. So obviously there's a lot more to this, and I'm not going to cover every single detail in this, but there's a lot of things you can do with this tool, which is why it's really good. So like I said, if you want to know more, go and watch my other video. The link is in the description. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.